just like this finger is the part and parcel of my body. The business of the finger is to carry out my order. I ask the finger, please come here. Yes, I'm ready. Come here. Yes, I'm ready. Similarly, we should be like that, always ready to carry out the order of Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. Just like Arjun did. Arjun in the beginning, he denied to carry out the order of Krishna. Krishna wanted fight. He said, no, Krishna, I cannot fight. I cannot kill my kinsmen. The other side, my brothers, my nephews, my grandfather. No, I stop. Then Krishna explained the actual position, and he asked him, now what is your decision? You can do whatever you like. I have explained everything. He said, yes. Karishye vachanam tava. This is Krishna consciousness. One must be ready to do anything for Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. Not that according to my whims I shall decide. No. This is position. We must be ready because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Just like my hand is moving because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Just like my hand is moving because I want to move it. Similarly, if we are all living entities, we are part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, our duty is simply to move according to the will of Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. So that's a wonderful explanation that Prabhupada gave about what is Krishna consciousness, and a very, very nice example that the same way that my hand is part of my body, the hand obey whatever I want. If I tell the hand, feed my body, then the hand has to cooperate. Take the food, take it to the mouth, to the stomach. That's the way it works. And when the food, that energy is expanded in all the body and reach the hand too. The hand is benefited too. So in the same way, Krishna consciousness means the proper understanding that since I am part and parcel of Krishna, it is my duty to do what Krishna wants me to do. And that's not only good for Krishna, will be benefited, in the same way that if we stand in front of a mirror and we put a garland on ourselves, the mirror reflection has also a garland. The same way, if we serve Krishna, follow Krishna's instruction, desire, naturally, we will also be enlightened. We will also be nurtured, spiritually nurtured. So there is one nice allegory in the Vedas that once the senses had a meeting. So the senses were discussing about the stomach. Some senses were saying, well, the stomach is exploiting us, making us work so hard to bring him food, and he's sitting there lazy, doing nothing. We have to do all the work to feed the stomach. The stomach is a dictator. We should go on strike on the stomach. No more feeding to the stomach. So they stop feeding the stomach. And after 3 days, they have to have an urgent meeting again. They discuss why we are feeling so weak and so lack of energy and so depressed, well, maybe because since we started the strike, we start feeling like that in the last couple of days. Oh, maybe we should try to feed the stomach back again, see if we get better, Okay, let's experiment, see what will happen. And as soon as they started feeding the stomach again, immediately they recovered their energy, their enthusiasm, their everything. So they had a third meeting. And they said, last conclusion, no more strikes on the stomach again. It doesn't benefit us at all. So that's the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, is to understand, since we are part of Krishna, of the all, he's the all, we are the small part, it is our natural tendency, duty, originally, as Prabhupada said, we are all originally Krishna conscious living entities. So due to forgetfulness, we are in this material world. Since we can't recover our original consciousness, Krishna consciousness, then we can, go back to our eternal real home, the spiritual world where we belong actually. So that is Krishna's plan for all living entities, that somehow or other fell to this material world, and Krishna's plan is to reclaim them back. That's Krishna's plan. So if we cooperate with Krishna's plan, not just for ourselves, but also to share this information with others, is very important. That's why Srila Prabhupada stressed very much book distribution, because he wanted to give the mercy to everyone. He wanted to give relief, because people are suffering because they forgot Krishna. So the only remedy to alleviate their suffering is to give them the opportunity to know about Krishna consciousness philosophy. And that definitely can help them relieve their suffering and approach Krishna. So that's very, very important. I'm going to read other quotes also. I just finished giving a lecture in the Spanish about the importance of book distribution and preaching, to the family members and like that. Anyway, so one important thing is to know about Krishna consciousness. It is natural. There's nothing artificial about it. There's not an imposition on the mind. It's the natural energy of the soul awakening to its actual position. It's something very natural. It should be like that. That it's like a fish in the water. It's comfortable in the water. If you take the fish outside the water, no matter how many commodities, comfort you may give the fish, is not happy. Is suffering from. He can't breathe. He's gonna die. So in the same way, Krishna consciousness is like the water to the fish, for the soul. Something we are not, then it is madness, I'll tell you one, just an example, imagine if you go to the zoo, and the caretaker tells you, the latest news from the zoo, what is that? Oh, the chimpanzee fell in love with the giraffe. You will say, well, okay, there is no future for that relationship. It's not compatible at all. It's totally incompatible. So the same way, the spirit soul being enamored to the material energy is incompatible the same way, because the same way the body needs food, needs shelter, needs medicine when we're sick, and place to sleep, to defend oneself, and then have a partner, family, etc. The same way, if we are not the body, we are the soul, then what are the needs of the soul? The soul actually has three needs: a spiritual shelter, a spiritual satisfaction, pleasure, and a spiritual food. These three things. Of course, spiritual food is not only prasad or food offered to the Lord, but also to hear about Krishna is food for the soul. It's nourishment through the ear, the same way that Krishna can interchange his senses, he can do with one sense any other activity of the senses. He can close his eyes and see with his hand. He can taste the food by hearing the prayer the devotee is offering the food to him with love. He accepts the food, he tasted in that way. So Krishna's senses are interchanging, and if we can try to please Krishna's senses, then automatically our senses will be also satisfied, naturally, automatically. We don't have to find another way to do it, no? So I'm going to read other quotes about what is Krishna consciousness. This is from Nectar of Devotion. We should always try to mold the activities of our lives in such a way that we will constantly remember Vishnu or Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. So molding our activities in such a way that we can always remember Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said that all rules, regulation, and Krishna consciousness are meant for two purposes: to always remember Krishna and never forget him. We should not follow the rule just for the sake of following the rules. That can be a cause of fall down, even according to Upadeshamrita. And also to act whimsically and not follow the rules is also can lead to fall down. So either extreme. We should follow the rules to please Krishna, to always remember Krishna and never to forget him. That's the maximum of our philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Of course, remembering Krishna should be favorable. Like King Kamsa, demon, Asura, he was remembering Krishna all time, but he was thinking of Krishna as his enemy, so he was not favorable. Anukulyena Krishna, no, should be favorable devotional service to pleasing to the Lord. Then it is accepted as bhakti, as devotional service. So if we can't remember Krishna in any situation, then we can be happy in any situation, because Krishna is the fountainhead of all happiness. Give you an example. Of course, before COVID, I was traveling too much all the time. Now I travel less, But you see at the airports, bus station, train station, so many people leaving, so many people arriving, and you see sometime family member, doing farewell to their dear ones, and you see they're crying, hugging each other, because they're going to get separated. Like Krishna consciousness immediately will remember, when Krishna left Vrindavan to Mathura, all the Brajavasis, all the gopis were crying for him, and they were going to miss him very much. So anything that is related to Krishna consciousness, if we are Krishna conscious, will remind us of Krishna. Even devotees have their families, jobs, friends, everything. If we are Krishna consciousness, we will be able to remind them of Krishna, and we ourselves will keep our Krishna consciousness. So it's a very important thing in our daily activities to mold our life in such a way that we have the opportunity to always remember Krishna and never forget him. Another quote, therefore, that religion is perfect which teaches its followers how to love God. So let everyone come to this platform of loving God. That is Krishna consciousness. We are teaching nothing but how to love God, how to sacrifice everything for God. So that is the perfection, of our religion. To know, to learn, to teach how to love Krishna, how to love God. That is Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said, I came from India. I didn't bring any money with me. Why you are serving me? Why you are obeying me? Because there is love. Because there is love. And that's why the movement expanded all over the world, because Prabhupada's disciples, they loved him very much. And that's why they obeyed his order. Go and open the temple. I never did that in my life. I don't know how to do that. Print a magazine. I only took a magazine just to read it. Krishna will give you the intelligence. Just do it. And because of that love, that's why Krishna consciousness spread all over the world, because the love of the disciples for their spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, made the impossible possible, Prabhupada wanted to print Chaitanya Charitamrita in few impossible. Prabhupada said, impossible is the word in the dictionary of the fools. Actually, who said that phrase? Actually,
Napoleon.
That was Napoleon. Yes, correct. Napoleon. Napoleon said, so Prabhupada used that phrase to say to his disciples, you can do anything, everything for Krishna. Nothing is impossible. And they did it. They did it. I mean, it was a miracle, practically speaking, but they did it. Because when the Guru gave the instruction, he also gave the ability to do it, He gave the intelligence, the blessings to do it. So those challenges are very much needed in our spiritual life, because sometimes we became complacent and easygoing, And that's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to put the Gaudiya Math always in debt, So the devotee have to go out and collect the money to pay the debt. Once the debt was paid, he will take another loan for some other project, book printing or temple or something. So he will not allow them to sit peacefully. He will always have to do something, So because that saying in Idle Mind workshop, the devil workshop, is that so? So we have always to keep busy in Krishna consciousness. Some or other try to always do something for Krishna, in our daily lives. And preaching is very important activity in the spiritual life, because when we share Krishna consciousness with other people, we become more Krishna conscious ourselves, That's the way it works, Krishna consciousness, because it's like the Panchatattva, they opened they distributed Krishna consciousness, love of Godhead to everyone, and the room kept still filled up, never got empty. So that's the power of the spiritual energy. It's never diminished, It's always increasing, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, it's an ocean of happiness and goes on increasing more and more. So we have to connect with that energy, with that power, that mercy from Lord Chaitanya. And Srila Prabhupada brought all us, gave us this transcendental engagement, We are spirit soul, we need engagement, we need some activity to do, So it's very important. Prabhupada said cooking is very important. Everybody has to eat. So to cook every day for Krishna and offer the food to Krishna is a very important activity, It's part of our Krishna consciousness. I was discussing with the devotees about people or family member or friend who are not inclined to Krishna consciousness, how to preach to them, since they don't want to get the books or read them. So what to do? I told them, just be nice to them, be friendly to them, and give them prasad, And gradually they will become favorable. Gradually they will become purified, and they will be inclined to be Krishna conscious, I remember one story happened in Philadelphia, I think, the airport. Devotee used to go there at that airport to distribute Prabhupada's books. And there was a guard, always give them trouble, they kick them out of the airport and always give them so much. It was very harsh to the devotees. And one lady devotee thought, start giving him some, sweets, rasgulla, gulab jamun, simple, wonderful. Every day she will bring him some sweet. And this man start, like the prasad. And after a few weeks, he became changed, oh, welcome, okay, you can sell your books here, no problem, just give me this nice food you bring me. So he became, favorable to the devotees. So Prabhupada said, our secret weapon is prasad. This is a kitchen religion, Prabhupada said. That's how Prabhupada conquered all these young, people who came to him. He cooked himself very nice, tasteful prasad, and he conquered them. But the Maha Mantra, the philosophy, and the prasad, these three combinations were very powerful to change anybody's mind, to accept Krishna consciousness. I'm going to read more quotes about what is Krishna consciousness. We have to purify the propensity of material sense gratification. This is Krishna consciousness. For Krishna consciousness, we have to be purified. What is that purification? We cannot enjoy anything directly, so we have to enjoy through Krishna. For example, we take prasadam. The nice prasadam, the foodstuff that is prepared, is not taken directly. We take it through Krishna. First of all, we offer to Krishna. Then we take it. No? Since we, Christmas was yesterday, so some people came to visit, or I'm staying in a farm here, New Bahulaban in Mexico. Some friends of the devotees and family members came, and they have a Christmas dinner. We chanted Hare Krishna, spoke the philosophy, and nice prasad, everything. So I told the guests, were mostly Christians, I told them, just imagine this idea. The baby Jesus was born, in a cave, and he was surrounded. It was cold winter, In the Middle East, winter is very, very cold. I lived there in my childhood. It's very cold, and snows and everything, try to see the scene, no? Baby Jesus is born, and all the animals surrounding him. You see the painting, the picture, the picture of that. And all these animals are warming up the baby Jesus with their breath. And then you celebrate Christmas by eating those same animals who were warming up baby Jesus. That's a complete contradiction, Of course, they laughed, but they knew it was true, It's a total contradiction. So I told them, I also was, a few days ago, I was had a Zoom meeting with the interfaith program, with the culture and Christmas and different religion, what they think about Christmas. And so I spoke about Jesus, Christ and Krishna, So I was explaining all these things to them, And I told them, the original idea of Christmas was that people become God consciousness. Jesus came to speak about how loving God, and he accepted. He preached the commandment: you should not kill. So, but nowadays everything is about Santa. Nobody speak about baby Jesus. Everybody speak about Santa and the gifts, and all is about drinking liquor and eating meat, and what is God is lost. We became degraded, but the original idea was God consciousness, and in the course of time was lost. I quoted also, if you hear this book called this, The Strolls of the Dead Sea. It's an interesting book, because in that book, I read the book, very interesting. In that book, Jesus is speaking to the people, and he's telling them, God gave the 10 commandments to Moses, and the 5th commandment is should not kill. But Moses saw that his people were very hard-hearted, so in order to avoid that they kill each other, he allowed them to do animal sacrifice so they will not kill each other. But by sacrificing, killing animals, their heart became hardened even more, and they start killing each other. But I tell you, Jesus speaking, you should not kill humans nor animals either. Because if you kill animals, you have to pay for it. No? Those who eat from violence and suffering, their own body will be their own grave. And those who eat alive food, they will have more life. So Jesus was against animal killing, according to this statement, So anyway, in the world, there is a lot of confusion. People don't know what is right, what is wrong. And Prabhupada's book is giving the guidance, to teach people how to be good Christians even, how to be good religious people, how to love God by loving his creation, I'll tell you one Sankirtan story that happened in Ukraine. One devotee was distributing Prabhupada's book from house to house, and he knocked on somebody's home. And one lady opened the door and he offered the books. She said, yes, I'm interested in this book. Please come in my house. I would like to buy them all. Oh, the devotee was surprised and happy. So she chose all the titles she had, all the variety of titles she had. And she told him, please wait here and I will bring the money to pay you. So the devotee was looking at one painting. She had a painting of Lord Jesus, beautiful, big painting. And when she came back, she saw him looking at Jesus' painting, and she asked him, do you like this painting? Oh, yes, very much. We accept Jesus as our guru also. He sacrificed his life for God, serving God. So he's our guru also, We also respect him and love him as God's representative. Oh, that she said, that's very nice, I like that. Because I'm going to tell you something that happened to me three days ago. At night, I had a dream. In that dream, Lord Jesus spoke to me, and he told me, I advise you to become vegetarian. And in 3 days from now, a young man is going to come to your door offering you some books. Buy them all. They are very nice, very good for your spiritual life. So it's good to know that Lord Jesus is on our side also. He likes Sankirtan. He likes Prabhupada's books too. Anyway, so I'm going to read a few more quotes. So the idea is that to purify our material propensity to enjoy our senses by first offering, everybody likes to eat nice food stuff, but if we do that by offering it first to Krishna, not directly, but we accept ourselves as subordinate enjoyer. Whatever Krishna enjoyed as remnant, as his prasad, we also can enjoy, seeing it as the remnant of the Lord. In that spirit we can enjoy. Of course, Prabhupada said we should not overeat in the name of prasad, then we become sick, Anyway, I've seen things like that, and especially in big festivals, things sometimes what they overeat and they are sick next day, Anyway, once the Prabhupada told the devotees, from now on we are gonna eat less. all devotees protested. No, Prabhupada, when we joined the movement, you told us we should eat as much as we want. Prabhupada said, yes, I said that. But when I said that, nobody protested. So one devotee asked Prabhupada, I don't know if I'm eating much or I'm eating less. I don't know how. Prabhupada said, if you are going to make mistake, then make mistake of less, not of more. Anyway, so, and at the beginning of the movement, the devotee always have in the kitchen a jar full of gulab jamuns. So when a devotee wanted to leave the temple, go to Maya, the devotees make him sit down and fill him his plate full of gulab jamun and make him eat a plate full of gulab jamun. And they will preach to him, you will not find food like this anywhere in the world. Please don't go stay. He say, well, that's true, it's very true. I will not. So he will stay, he will not go. Prabhupada said, they call it ISKCON bullets, the gulab jamuns. Bullets against Maya. Anyway, so I'm going to read a couple more quotes. Because he's the complete all, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. This is from Sri Upanishad. This is Krishna consciousness. Krishna is never finished. Krishna is so powerful. Therefore, he is all attractive. This is one side of the display of Krishna's energy. Similarly, he has unlimited energies. The study of Krishna's energy is only one side or a portion only. So in this way, if you go on studying Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness. It is not a bogus thing, maybe perhaps not absolutely. It is. So this is very important, no? To study Krishna, to teach, to learn about Krishna. I remember once I was traveling in India from the north to the south, and I was in the flight. One man was next to me, Indian man. So I tried to talk to him about, Krishna consciousness. So in the conversation, I mentioned Bhagavad Gita. I said, I know everything about Bhagavad Gita. Oh, that's very nice. Have you read Bhagavad Gita? No, I haven't. But he said he knows everything about Krishna, So too much familiarity brings contempt, So religion without philosophy is sentimental. Sometimes can be fanatical. Sometimes people are very proud to be Christian or Hindu or Muslim or this or that. But the proof is how much they love God. That's real religion. That's what Prabhupada said. To know God is to love him because he's so wonderful. He's so beautiful. He's so kind and merciful. He's so full of wonderful qualities and wonderful activities. In my travel, I also visit sometime Arabic country, like Emirates and Qatar, Oman, all these places. And in one meeting with the devotees, it came a Muslim doctor, he worked at the hospital for the government. And I was speaking to him, about, of course, this is secretly done. You can't do it openly. It's not allowed in those countries. Even, sannyasi can't go into the country dressed as a sannyasi. They have to put pants on, maybe a kurta, it's okay. Anyway, so this man told me, I read Prabhupada's Krishna book, and I'm completely fascinated that God has activities, amazing activity, wonderful activity. This is very attractive. And I always ask myself, what is Allah doing right now? What if He created the world? What He was doing before creating the universe? What He was doing after creating the universe? So now I have this wonderful information. I'm fascinated. Please tell me more about Krishna's pastimes. I want to know more. So you see, Krishna is all attractive because he's the origin of everything. Everything is coming from him, but he remained complete in himself. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that Krishna's pastimes are the most confidential part of our philosophy. We don't tell newcomers immediately about Krishna's pastimes until they get a little more faith in Krishna, and Krishna consciousness. Generally, the lectures devotees give, publicly, is mostly philosophy, But it's important also to speak philosophy along also with Krishna's pastimes, especially for the devotees, is very important. Once Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan, he asked Bhakti Charu Swami to cook for him a preparation. And he instructed him, you have to put this much chili in this preparation and this much ghee. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj brought the preparation after cooking it, and Prabhupada tested it and told Bhakti Charu Swami, you didn't put enough chili in it. I told you to put this much. Why did you put less? And Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj said, well, Prabhupada, I thought you were a little sick, so I thought maybe a little less chili would be good for you. Prabhupada said, no, you don't understand. This preparation has a lot of ghee. In order to digest the ghee, it needs this much chili in order to digest the ghee. So the same way, our philosophy, Krishna conscious philosophy, is like the chili. And Krishna's pastime is like the ghee. So we need both of them together in order to digest, understand, and assimilate Krishna consciousness, properly. So both things are needed there. Okay, one last quote. So we have to offer to Krishna what he likes, and then we'll take prasad. Krishna likes Radharani. Therefore, all the gopis, they are trying to push Radharani to Krishna. Krishna likes this gopi. All right, push her. That is Krishna consciousness. To satisfy the senses of Krishna, not to satisfy my senses. That is bhakti. That is called prema, love for Krishna. Krishna like this, I must give him this. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All right, so thank you for your patience and hearing about what is Krishna consciousness. Now, if you like, you can make some comment or questions, either by raising your hand or writing, Thank you again, ISKCON Columbus, for the invitation. Very much appreciated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj. So devotees, now please open up and then ask questions or comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Ram Tirthadas. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank you so much for accepting our invitation and giving your association. And also I would like to thank Vamshi Gopal Prabhu for introducing you to us, to have this class today.
Thank you, Ramatirtha Prabhu, very much for your comment. Hare Krishna. Haribo. Okay, very good.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Blessings.
Yeah, so it's not a question but a comment, Maharaj. So I was recently watching an interview of a saint from Vrindavan. He's not related to ISKCON, he just lives there. So there he was saying that everyone is born as a Sanatani or a follower of Sanatana Dharma. He said, for example, to become Muslim, you have to go through certain process, right? Without that, you are not a Muslim. Like for males, they have to go through certain things. Or to become a Sikh, you need to grow hair, you need to have this. To become a Christian, you have to be baptized, so there are rituals. But he was saying everyone is born as Sanatani, it's the you make them into something artificially, but naturally everyone is Sanatani. So that was a very profound point I felt.
Very nice point, yes. Not by birth, though, not by birth, but by eternal nature.
By eternal nature. Yes.
By eternal nature, because the soul is never born. The soul is eternal. The soul doesn't born when the body is born. So by our eternal nature, we are eternally servant of Krishna, Krishna Das. No? Sanatan Dharma means eternal duty, the eternal religion, eternal occupation of the soul is to love and serve Krishna. That's the difference between Krishna consciousness and all other religion. There's some kind of belief, but the actual understanding that we are all eternal servant of God and God is one. He may have different names, different form, but it's the same Supreme Lord. So that understanding is lacking nowadays, every religion, they think we have our own God, God, Hindu God, Muslim God, Jew God. No, God is only one. It doesn't make sense that it's like the sun coming from the east. There's no eastern sun or western sun. Sun is for everyone. The same way Krishna consciousness is universal because it preaches the unity, in diversity.
Right.
That although there is diversity, there is one unity, that God is only one. Prabhupada said all religions are looking for God, and we are presenting God to them. Here is God, Krishna, accept. Have a better candidate, present. We are open-minded people,
Yes. Yeah, and he also said that Sanatan Dharma is called Jagat Guru because we wish best for everyone. He said if you go to the teachings of other, there's always conflict, especially Islam has big time, right? The kafir should be killed and all that, convert or kill and all that. But he says we never say anything like that. We wish everyone best, whether they follow our religion or don't follow, whether they are from India. We like Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramya. We have those things, or Vasudev Kutumbakam. That's our philosophy. So he says by virtue of that, we are Jagat Guru, because we are beyond these sectarian designations.
Yeah, that's a good analysis. That's a good analysis. See, India never conquered by force any other country. They conquered by culture, For example, Buddhism was born in India and went to China and Japan and all those countries peacefully. They conquered culturally, So that's the nature of Sanatana Dharma. Although Buddha we accept as avatar of Krishna, but he rejected the Vedas superficially because they were killing animals on the name of the Vedas in Kali Yuga, which is prohibited in Kali Yuga to animal sacrifice. So superficially he rejected the Vedas, and he became agnostic because of that. But we respect, Lord Buddha as an avatar of the Lord, because he did that for a specific purpose, out of kindness to the poor animals, out of mercy. So anyway, so Krishna consciousness is very broad, very universal, and but we don't reject any religion in the sense that their aim is to serve God. That's the original idea, that from the founders, at least the founders like Lord Jesus, Muhammad, they also preach about loving God, to obey God. So, but with the due course of time, they changed things, became degraded a little bit, The original Christians, they were vegetarian. They believed in reincarnation. Until the year 324 after Jesus, they prohibited reincarnation from their philosophy, and rejected, Anyways, that's all history, part of the history. I mean to say in Hindu religion also, they mix up so many, Devata worship, and if you want to eat meat, sacrifice a goat in front of Goddess Kali. All those things are also there in the Hindu religion too. But I mean, the Sanatan Dharma is what Krishna spoke in Bhagavad Gita. That's the actual teaching, you know. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, that's the most important books to follow in Hinduism. Anyway, anybody else has a comment or questions?
Yes, Maharaj, I have a question. You made a point. Thank you very much for the class. So we
Yeah.
should not follow the rules and regulations for the sake of following. You made a comment further saying that
Yes.
follow, please Krishna, always remember, do not forget. That is the purpose. At the same time, do not follow the rituals for the not sake. How do you know? Because philosophy says that very strict, rigid rules and regulations. At the same time, Bhagavad Dharma says if you chant Hare Krishna, everything is good. But where do you draw the line? Everybody can subject it to interpret what they wanted, how they wanted, when they wanted.
Well, that's why we have Srila Prabhupada guidance through his books, you know, and lectures, you know, and we have our own advanced Vaishnava to consult with, you know. There are primary rules and secondary rules, you know. The primary rules should never be compromised, you know, like the 4 principles, chanting 16 rounds, you know, preaching, reading the books, doing service. That's the main things, you know. Secondary rules, for example, you have to fast an Ekadasi completely. So that's, or you can't eat certain things besides grain, you know. It's there in the Shastra also that in Ekadasi you should not eat brinjal, eggplant, or spinach, or honey, or this or that. But these are secondary rules. And Prabhupada didn't enforce them in ISKCON, didn't think was important for the devotees to do that. So he didn't emphasize certain things, you know, or like Ekadasi feast for every Vishnu Tattva appearance. He didn't emphasize that for all Vishnu Tattva, but for Jamastami, Gaur Purnima, you know, Ramchandra, like that, he did, but not for all Vishnu Tattva. Although in the Shastra, the set should be for every Vishnu Tattva. So these are secondary rules that according time, place, circumstance can be adjusted, but the primary rules shall never be neglected, you know. But the idea of following rules is to please Krishna, you know. Sometime I read one devotee posted, Ekadasi is to burn the karma, you know, not just to burn the toxins from the body, but to burn the karma. Ekadasi is not for purpose of burning karma. That's the pious karmist thing, you know. Devotees follow Ekadasi just to please Krishna, just to increase their love for Govinda. That's the purpose of Ekadasi, not just to burn or bad karma, you know. So we have to know that's what is most important and what is less important, you know, in our rules and regulation, according to time, place, and circumstances. And when we have doubt, we shall consult with more advanced Vaishnavas who can guide us, give us good advice, you know. Consult Prabhupada's books, also his teachings, like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen Krishna Prabhu, for your good question.
Anybody else, devotees?
Raising your hand, yes.
Dandavat Pranam Maharaj, thank you for the nice class and for reminding us about what is Krishna consciousness. So I particularly liked your example of the chilies and the ghee. I'll remember that. So in that mood, I have a question for you. Can you please explain the painting that is behind you on the wall? What pastime is that?
Thank you for your comments and your question. You are not the first one to ask me about the painting. Many devotees like this painting. If you see closely this painting, what it shows Krishna painting Radharani's fingernails. You see that? You see it better now?
Yes.
So that is Krishna consciousness, that Krishna loves so much his dear devotee Radharani that he enjoy serving her, you know. So, and that's our philosophy also, you know, in Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya taught us that Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Nudas. We are the servant of the servant of the servant of the master of the gopis. So if Krishna loves so much to serve Radharani, to serve as devotees, you know, so in order to please Krishna, we should also serve Krishna's devotees. That is very pleasing to Krishna. Remember the pastime of Chaitanya Charitamrita, one Vaishnava named Kalidas. He enjoyed serving the devotees Prasad. All types of devotees, new devotees, advanced devotees, you know. And after they eat, he will collect all the remnants and eat the remnants of all the Vaishnava. Doesn't matter if he's Kanishta or Madhyam or Uttama, he will eat everyone's remnant. And because of that, he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. When Lord Chaitanya will enter the Jagannath temple, one devotee will wash his feet, you know, before in the temple. That was the tradition. But Lord Chaitanya prohibited that no one can touch this water from his feet. But this Kalidas, one day, he jumped in and drank 3 big handful of Charanamrit from Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet.
Yeah, on the Gundicha Marjan day.
Yeah, and he didn't prohibit him to do that. He allowed him. And then I told him, okay, now you fulfilled your heart desire, you drank 3 times, that's good enough. So by pleasing the Vaishnavas, serving the Vaishnavas, he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He didn't discriminate, oh, this is a new devotee, this is more advanced. All devotees, he liked to serve. So we should be like that also. Be kind to all devotees, serve all devotees like that. So even Krishna loved to serve his devotee, feel happiness, enjoyment, is serving his dearest devotee, Radharani. So that's very nice. Thank you
so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, may I ask a question?
Please do.
Yeah, so Maharaj, this is from Bhagavad Gita 18.47, talks about Swadharma. So it says that it is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. So I'm having little hard time understanding that statement, because by birth everybody is Shudra in this Kali Yuga.
Yes.
And how do we know one's own Swadharma? By trial and error, we may come to some conclusion that, you know, this is what my nature, this is what I would like to do. But our tendency is whatever we are doing perfectly, we think that is our nature. That's what I'm doing it perfectly. So
very good question. Yes, very good question. Actually, yeah, you're right. Kalo Shudra Sambhava, everybody is born Shudra in Kali Yuga. But doesn't mean one should remain Shudra all his life. I mean, there is training. If the person have the tendency, usually in the Gurukul used to be like that. When a child is born, they will make an astrological chart, and from that, the astrologer will say the tendency of this child will be like Kshatriya or this or that, you know. So according to that, he will receive certain training, you know. That was the traditional way to how to engage everyone according to their ability or tendency in life, you know. And it's happening everywhere. You see everybody, you know, doing different jobs, you know, according to their nature, you know. They feel inclined to this type of job than others. So that's called Swadharma. But Dharma Swanustita Pumsam Bishbakshena Kathasuya Not Palyadiratim Shrama Eva Ikevalam. It doesn't matter what occupation you have in the Varna Shram Dharma. If at the end of the day you don't feel attraction about hearing Krishna Katha, then Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam is all waste of time. So that's the most important thing about Swadharma, that if you don't get attracted to Krishna, by doing your duty, then what is the use? What is the benefit? So we don't care about, Lord Chaitanya, he said, I'm not Shudra, I'm not Vaishya, Kshatriya, or Brahmin, I'm not Sannyasi, Grihastha, Vanaprastha. I'm Gopi Bhartur Pada Kamalur Das Das Anudas, servant of the servant. That's all. Don't give too much importance of the Swadharma, Everybody has to earn livelihood by doing some kind of job. That's all right. Do your best, That's also in the part of no risk, that you do what you are meant to do. Don't try to do somebody else's job better, So it's a type of precaution, don't take risk. But Krishna consciousness means taking risk for Krishna, taking risk for Krishna, for serving Krishna. So it's more dynamic, it's more risky to please the Lord, Engage your ability in the loving service of Krishna. That is the perfection. And also Lord Chaitanya said, doesn't matter if you're Shudra or Brahmin or Grihastha or Sannyasi, if you know the signs of Krishna, you are Guru, So.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Maharaj, I have a
Very
comment.
good.
So Varna and Ashrama is based on Dharma, but Dharma is different than the nature. So Dharma is different than the Dharma of the Brahmin, Kshatriya, or Shudra, and then the Brahmin and Grihastha, Sannyasi, they are based on the Dharma. Dharma is divided into Varna and Ashram. The society should run in two ways. But the nature of the soul exhibit based on the karma. So karma and nature together is two different platforms, in my opinion, in my understanding. Of course, so Brahmin, Kshatriya, Sudra, Vaishya is a state of consciousness also. But how do you, I was just hearing your answer. I was thinking something else popped up in my hand. Would you like to explain a little bit? Because Dharma, which is based on Varna and Ashram, but the nature, because Dharma is defined as in the constitutional position, but the nature, nature can change. It is also adopt different times, but Dharma will never change. Sugar is sweet.
But Sanatan Dharma never changes.
Yeah, so
the Swadharma can change,
correct.
The occupation you can change, your occupation. That
was my point. Yeah, that was my point. When Krishna says when the changing dharma, we have to find out what is our dharma, which is predominant. Based on that, we should do what is instead of trying somebody else. But it's original dharma, which is divided, is Daivi Varnashram Dharma, Daivi Varnashram Dharma. That's based on dharma, but this nature is different. It's subjected Desakala Patra.
Yes, for example, Vishwamitra was born Kshatriya, he was a king, he was Kshatriya. But then he decided to become a Brahmin, and he did the austerities and penances and tapasya, and he became a Brahmana in the same life. So
it took him 1,000 years.
Yeah, right. But I mean to say in the same lifetime, he changed his position from Kshatriya to Brahmana by his own endeavor, by his own austerities, So it is possible to change the Dharma, but you can't change your Sanatan Dharma, your eternal duty, eternal occupation to love and serve God, Krishna. That's eternal nature. You can't change that. So people try to, they can't stop serving somebody or something because that's their nature, to serve. Either you serve your boss or family, friends, money, this and that, but you can't stop serving. So that's the Sanatan Dharma, the eternal occupation of the soul. The Swadharma is changeable. It's possible to change. In previous ages, people, for example, they were born in Brahmin family, they were not automatically Brahmin. They will receive the training to be a Brahmin, to become a Brahmin, because there was the tradition of Gurukul and the teacher and the parents also, they will teach how to be a Brahmin, But in Kali Yuga, all this is lost. So nowadays you find people born Brahmin family doing Shudra activities, but they claim to be Brahmins, So that's the mismanagement or misinformation in Kali Yuga, I remember first time I went to Mayapur, I saw a Brahmin eating fish, I was shocked because he has the Brahmin trade and he was eating fish. So in my naivety, I told him, "Oh, you're a Brahmin, why you're eating fish?" And he became angry. He said, "You don't understand. This is Ganga Prasad." Since came from the river Ganges, the fish, so this, according to him, was Ganga Prasad. So they manufacture like that to justify, their wrong activities. So that's why in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to ascertain who's Shudra, who's Brahmin, and only by their activities you can know, by their state of consciousness. But Prabhupada said if people chant seriously Hare Krishna, doesn't matter Varnashram too much, If they chant Hare Krishna sincerely, seriously, it doesn't matter too much. We don't want to. It's very mixed up in Kali Yuga, the Varnas and all this, So we don't give too much importance to the Varnas. If people chant Hare Krishna, that is good. All right. Any other last comment or questions? Otherwise, we can
Thank you.
finish.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Really appreciate for giving an opportunity. And then Ramesh Prabhu, do you want to add anything? You there?
No, Prabhupada. Just thank you to Maharaj. Maharaj, amazing discourse, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ramesh Prabhu. Very kind of you. Hare Krishna.
Ramesh Prabhu, do you have any announcements for year-end December 39th Kirtan or Ekadasi?
No, Prabhu, because of this COVID activities. So only thing we have on the next Saturday, we have a special discourse by His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, and the schedule will send by email, and the same as will start at 11:30 Kirtan, and it will be at noon local time. So Maharaj is speaking on New Year.
Very good, very good. Thank you, everyone, for your presence and your nice
Thank you
comments
so
and
much, Maharaj.
questions.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Jai Srila
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Prabhupada.
Dhanavad pranam. All good, Srila Prabhupada.
Hare
Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindebhyo patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo.
Jai Ho.
Antakote Vaishnav Vandi ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhakti Sundar Maharaj ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. God of Premanand.
Oh, is that Vamsi Gopal Krishna is our was the devotee from Columbus?
Yeah. Oh, really? He's from I didn't know that.
That's Ramti Prabhu's cousin. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I think Columbus has introduced me to Krishna consciousness, Maharaj. So and it took me 10 years to get initiated by you. So it's all Guru and Columbus mercy now. Yeah.
I didn't recognize. Now I recognize.
ISKCON Columbus ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Haribol, Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'm going to end the